Amore, love. People desire love so much that you can find it in songs, you can find them in culture, you could find it in the strength that you didn't have, but out of love, you do something for someone. And yet, even though people want love, there are people that feel unloved. Oftentimes we might hear, my mom doesn't love me, my dad doesn't love me, my child, I don't feel that my child or my teenager loves me, right? And so if love is so desired and humans want it, why then do people feel loved? Sometimes that love is there. That love is being expressed. However, it might be that they're speaking a language of love that is not your primary or secondary love language. The way that you most register love. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of being able to speak the other person's love language. And in order to do that, you'll have to know how to identify that love language. One way of being able to know your love language is by taking an online test. However, there are also ways that I highly recommend, which is to take time to fully observe yourself, at minimum 2 weeks to a month, and really observe your inner reaction and your external reaction when someone is expressing one of these love languages to you, which we covered in a previous video. When one of these love languages is being expressed to you, really take the time to observe the inner sensations as well as the exterior reaction, because there will be one or two that really speaks to you more loudly and you really feel the love being given to you. That might come out as you getting really excited or having a really large smile, or maybe your eyes sparkling or your heart pounding, or maybe just a sense of warmth come over you. How it's going to be important to observe that and to really also just check in with yourself and say, wow, that was really loving, or I really appreciated that, but I really loved when someone else spoke a kind words to me, or I really loved that they took time out of their day to spend time with me, So there's going to be one that registers with you more loudly than the other. We had spoken about in the previous video about the boy who was doing an act of service with his dad. He did one act of service. That was one example. So he opened the door. He saw that his dad had groceries. He took the groceries and took them over to the kitchen counter. That was his act of service. And that one act of service does not mean that that was his love language. No, it doesn't mean that that's what it was, right? Because it was one time that he was doing it. However, if you're constantly seeing your child or the person you love and care for as these love languages can be applied to any relationship. But if that person you care about is constantly doing acts of service, finding ways in which they can be of help and support, whether they're asked or not, they're constantly giving that, then that's a pretty good indication that their love language is acts of service. But just because the dad who rang the bell gave his son the word of affirmation of fuerte, or strong, it doesn't mean that his love language is words of affirmation. No, that was just one instance. If the dad's constantly using his words to appreciate his son, whether it's, hey, thanks for doing that, or I really appreciate it when you, or way to go, or saying, wow, great job on blank, right? So if they're constantly giving words that appreciate or build up, then that's a good indication that the father's love language would be words of affirmation. So you want to start noticing what are people expressing to you, because that's a good indication of the type of love they want to receive, because it is the love language that they're expressing to you consistently over time. So you want to start to observe them and observe yourself. That's how you can identify the love language that is your natural way of expressing love, care, and affection, and that also the one that is important to the people you care about. After you have identified those love languages, it will be important that you start to speak the other person's love language so that they can be filled and have that register in their being that they are being expressed love, care, and affection. Can you speak all 5 different love languages? Yes, you can. Can you enjoy all 5 different love languages? Definitely. But there will be 1 or 2 that stand out in both how one expresses it because of the consistency of it and in the way that they receive it because of the way they register or feel that love, depending on which one is being spoken to them. We will be learning about what happens when that love language is not being expressed to the other person. I hope that you and your loved ones will be able to create a healthy emotional environment by speaking each other's love language.